Hey guys, my name is Danny and I'm your life and relationship coach, and I wanted to talk about regaining trust after an affair. If you have clicked on this video, I want to start off by saying I am sorry that you find yourself in this situation. It is not an easy situation to navigate, and I completely understand how difficult it can be emotionally. But I wanted to let you know, I wanted to tell you there is hope. There is the ability to regain trust in a relationship. I have seen it time and time and time again in my one-on-one coaching sessions and with the people that I've worked with. But it's going to take time. This is a marathon. It is not a sprint. I've said this many times before in previous videos. So if you are clicking on this video wanting to be able to regain trust overnight, this is not the video for you. Please understand, it takes years to build trust in a relationship. Trust can be broken overnight. And when that trust is broken, it is a process to regain that trust. It's not impossible, but it takes time. And I want to be realistic and transparent with you and say that it's going to take a lot of patience. It's going to take transparency. It's going to take accountability. It's going to take a lot of things to be able to get to a place where you feel good in your relationship again. And it is possible that your relationship the second time around will be better than the first one because you are now fully and consciously aware of the mistakes or the things that were missing in the previous relationship, and you don't have to repeat those mistakes in the second one. So, how do we regain trust? How do we start to feel like we can get through this, right? One of the first things and the primary things that has to take place in order to do that, whether you are the individual who cheated or the person who was cheated on, is taking accountability. Accountability is huge. It is taking responsibility for your own actions and what may have contributed to the breakdown of the relationship that led to your partner straying or you straying. Now, I want to be very clear. Oftentimes people think when I say take accountability for your actions and you are the individual who was betrayed, people have a tendency of getting offended because they feel like, well, I'm not responsible. I'm not the person that cheated. So why are you saying that I have to take accountability for anything? But the reality of the situation is that a relationship is a two-way street. And if you were not fully aware of the things that you may have contributed to the relationship in a negative way, that led to the affair in regards to, let's just say, there was a lack of communication or there was a lack of intimacy, or maybe you didn't invest a lot of time in your partner's in regards to emotional connection and things like that. It happens, life happens. Other things become a priority. The relationship takes a back seat. We're concerned about raising the kids, about paying the bills, about paying, there's so many things that happen that it just manifests into this situation. But like I said, a relationship is a two-way street. So you do have to take a look inside and say, is there anything that I did in order to contribute to this? Now, the primary individual who needs to take accountability is the person who strayed, the person who had the affair. If you are the individual who had the affair, you have to fess up to it. You have to take responsibility for it. You chose to step outside of your relationship and have this affair. So taking responsibility and saying, you know what, I made a mistake. This is what I did. That is the first step. You have to be able to acknowledge it to be able to move past it. The second step is communication, talking to your partner. And in this step, it is so important to be completely transparent. You have to allow your partner to ask you all the questions. Even if they want to know every single detail about the affair, you should be divulging that information to them. I know it's very difficult. I know it can be very uncomfortable, but your partner deserves that information in order for them to be able to process and grieve and move on from the situation. If you do not give your partner that respect of letting them know about the situation or the details that they may be asking, it is going to be a much longer process, and it is likely that you will not be able to repair and rebuild the trust. Now, there are times when your partner doesn't want to know the details right away because they're just trying to deal with the news itself. If that is the case, my recommendation is to write down the details of the event. Again, this is going to be difficult because you probably just want to forget about it and move on and just pretend like it never happened. But you have to write down the details of what happened. And the reason being is because if a couple of months down the road, your partner wants to know the details and you are unable to provide them with the information, they will feel like you are withholding information and they will feel like you are lying and that you are being secretive. So save yourself the trouble now and write everything down so you're able to recall the event later on down the line if your partner wants to know more. The third one is patience. This is going to take time. And like I said in the beginning of the video, it is not an overnight solution. There is no overnight solution. So if somebody says to you, I can fix your relationship in 1 week, they are lying to you. This is something that is going to take time. It is inevitable. And patience is not just about sitting back and saying, okay, I'm going to wait it out until things get flushed out, right? Patience is going to be having to actively exercise it when your partner is having an emotional breakdown, when your partner is yelling you about the situation, when your partner is maybe saying things that you may not necessarily like about the situation. You have to exercise patience and empathy because your partner deserves that. And vice versa, for the individual who was betrayed, exercising patience is going to be a big thing as well. Because since you are angry with them and you're frustrated and you have resentments because of the situation, it is very possible that little things that they do around the house will trigger you and you will go off on them for, the dishes or the shoes being left in the wrong place or clothes being left on the floor after a shower. Like, just be consciously aware of the fact that both parties have to exercise some patience in this process. The fourth one, which segues off of what I just said, is empathy. Put yourself in your partner's shoes. If you are the individual who betrayed your partner, think about what your partner is going through emotionally. It is not easy. A break of trust is not easy. Their entire world has changed. Their perception and their view of you has changed. And this is something that is going to take time. It is a transitional phase in their life, and they're having to process this in real time. So just make sure that you are accommodating them as much as you can, asking them what you can do to help them through some of these things. And it's very likely that there's nothing you can do at this point, but to just sit back, be patient, and really listen to what they have to say and provide as much support as you can on that front. The sixth one is self-awareness. So being consciously aware of why you made the decision that you made. And this is going to take a lot of self-reflection. So sitting back and really trying to understand what was at the core that led you to stray, or that led to the infidelity in the relationship, that led to having to step outside of your marriage because you weren't feeling fulfilled. So what was that? What was at the core? Was it a feeling of lack of support? Was it a feeling of not being loved? Was there unresolved issues in the relationship that you may have felt were never going to be resolved? So you were looking for some kind of outlet. Do you not feel understood? Do you feel like your partner doesn't listen to you? Is the communication not great? There are a multitude of different things that could be contributing, but keep in mind, there's something at the root, or maybe a few things at the root, that led to the affair itself. And it is incredibly important to really sit with yourself and try to figure those things out. Because if you do not, it is likely that it will happen again. You want to identify what the problem is so that you are fully and consciously aware of what it is. That way you do not repeat the same mistake. And the last and final step is consistency. You have to be consistent in order to rebuild trust and regain the trust of your partner. Consistency is key. And that ties into that age-old phrase of actions over words. Actions speak louder than words. So if you tell your spouse that you're going to be home at 5:30 after work, then you need to be home at 5:30 after work. If you tell your partner that you're going to do the dishes on Tuesday night, you need to do the dishes on Tuesday night. If you tell your partner you're going to pick up the kids every Wednesday and Thursday from school, you pick up the kids every Wednesday and Thursday from school. Now, I understand things in life happen. You may not be able to pick them up, or you may not be able to do the dishes, or whatever the case may be. It is important that you refer back to one of the beginning steps, which was communication, and communicate the reasons for why to your partner. and be completely transparent. But do everything in your power to fulfill your word. That is the best way of being able to regain trust and for your partner to feel like they can rely on you, which is one of the precursors to building trust. So just to go over the steps again, the first one is accountability. The second one is communication. The third one is patience. The fourth one is empathy. The fifth one is self-awareness. And the sixth one is consistency. If you guys feel like you related to this video, or if you like this video, please make sure you hit the like and subscribe button down below. If you feel like I left something out, or you are currently going through this situation and you just want to share, or you know somebody who's going through this situation, or you just like the video in general, please make sure you leave your comments down below. I love to read comments. I love to have open dialogue with people. If you just want to know a little bit more and you want to dive a little bit deeper, you can visit us at happilycommitted.com, where we have a multitude of different articles and blogs and videos on this subject and many other subjects as well. If you want to book a one-on-one coaching session with myself or any of the other amazing coaches that we have on the team, you can also book directly through the website. Again, my name is Danny. I'm your life and relationship coach. Hope you guys are staying happy and healthy, and I'll see you guys soon.